Imagine, if you will, a vast desert expanse under a canopy of stars so brilliant they seem to pulse with hidden intent. It's the dead of night on the high plateau of Giza, where three colossal pyramids stand sentinel, their shadows stretching like fingers toward the horizon. But what if these aren't just tombs for long-forgotten kings? What if they are beacons, engineered by beings from beyond our world to harness an energy that could rewrite everything we know about human history? Could it be that visitors from the stars descended here millennia ago, leaving behind a machine disguised as monuments, one that taps into the very pulse of the earth? These questions have haunted explorers and thinkers for generations, and tonight, as you settle in for sleep, we'll delve into the heart of this enigma, peeling back layers of sand and secrecy. As we embark on this journey together through the mysteries of ancient Egypt, I can't help but wonder where you are right now, dear listener. Perhaps you're curled up in bed in a quiet suburb of New York, the clock ticking toward midnight, or maybe you're on a late-night drive along the Pacific Coast Highway, the waves crashing in the background as the hour approaches 2 in the morning. Wherever you find yourself, and at whatever time this podcast reaches your ears, take a moment to like this episode. If it sparks your curiosity, subscribe to Mystery History for Sleep for more tales that blend the real with the unimaginable, and drop a comment below sharing your location and the exact time you're listening. Let's connect across the miles and moments, turning this solitary night into a shared adventure before we dive deeper into the shadows of Giza. Now, let's turn our gaze skyward, where the constellation of Orion gleams like a celestial blueprint. For decades, scholars and visionaries have proposed the Orion correlation theory, suggesting that the three main pyramids at Giza, those of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, are not randomly placed but meticulously aligned to mirror the three stars in Orion's belt: Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. This idea first gained prominence in the late 20th century through the work of Robert Bauval, an engineer turned Egyptologist, who noticed that the pyramid's layout echoes the stars' positions as they appeared around 10,500 years before the Common Era. But why Orion? In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife and resurrection, a deity whose story of death and rebirth parallels the pyramid's supposed role in guiding pharaohs to eternity. Yet, delving deeper, we find whispers of something more profound, something extraterrestrial. Historical records from ancient texts, like those in the pyramid texts inscribed on the walls of 5th dynasty tombs, speak of the pharaohs ascending to the stars, becoming one with the imperishable ones, the stars that never set. These texts, dating back over 4,000 years, describe the soul's journey to Orion, where it finds immortality. But what if this wasn't mere metaphor? What if the Egyptians inherited this knowledge from an even older civilization, one that had direct contact with beings from those very stars? Enter the realm of ancient astronaut theory, popularized by figures like Giorgio Tsoukalos, the enthusiastic proponent from the television series Ancient Aliens. In a post from earlier this year, on July 27, 2025, Tsoukalos shared excitement about live discussions on ancient and modern astronauts, hinting at ongoing revelations that connect historical sites like Giza to cosmic visitors. While promoting his tour, he emphasized how these monuments could be evidence of extraterrestrial influence, a theme echoed in his earlier works, where he argues that the precision of the pyramids defies primitive tools. Building on this, consider the energy aspect, a facet that transforms these stone giants from static relics into potential dynamos of power. Proponents of the ancient aliens hypothesis suggest that the pyramids were constructed as energy devices, channeling the Earth's natural forces in ways that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. Nikola Tesla, the visionary inventor of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, experimented with wireless energy transmission through his Wardenclyffe Tower, a structure that bore an uncanny resemblance to a pyramid in its ambition to tap into atmospheric electricity. Tesla believed the Earth itself was a conductor, and by resonating at specific frequencies, one could draw limitless power. Could the pyramids be ancient analogues, built with knowledge imparted by star-faring entities? Tsoukalos, in another 2025 post dated June 14th, while discussing gifts for Father's Day tied to his live shows, subtly nods to out-of-this-world experiences, a phrase that ancient astronaut theorists often link to sites like Giza as portals for alien technology. To weave in the historical thread, let's recall the accounts of Herodotus, the Greek historian from the 5th century before the Common Era, who visited Egypt and marveled at the pyramids' construction. He reported tales from priests about immense labor and ingenious ramps, but even he puzzled over the sheer scale over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing tons, fitted with precision that rivals laser cuts. Modern Egyptologists attribute this to human ingenuity, citing evidence like workers' villages and tools found at quarries. Yet, the alignment with Orion raises eyebrows. Astronomical calculations show that around 12,500 years ago, Orion's belt would have risen due east of the Sphinx at the vernal equinox, aligning perfectly with the pyramids. This predates the accepted timeline of Egyptian civilization by thousands of years, fueling speculation that survivors from lost continents like Atlantis or Lemuria brought this knowledge to the Nile Valley. Atlantis, the fabled island empire described by Plato in the 4th century before the Common Era as a advanced society that vanished beneath the waves 9,000 years before his time. Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, paint Atlantis as a hub of technological marvels, powered by mysterious crystals that harnessed energy from the Earth and cosmos. Theorists like Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet of the early 20th century, prophesied that records of Atlantis would be found under the Sphinx, linking it to Giza's pyramids as remnants of that era. In 2025, renewed interest surged with underwater discoveries off Japan's coast, dubbed Yonaguni's pyramids, which some claim predate Egypt and echo Atlantean architecture. A New York Post article from April 8, 2025, detailed how scientists debate whether these formations are natural or man-made, with alien theorists arguing they prove a global network of energy structures built by extraterrestrials. Similarly, Lemuria, the hypothetical lost continent in the Indian Ocean, is said to have been a spiritual counterpart to Atlantis, with advanced beings who mastered vibration and frequency. Ancient texts from India, like the Mahabharata, describe flying machines and energy weapons, paralleling Egyptian myths of gods descending from the sky. Could these be memories of alien interventions? In a 2025 YouTube documentary titled Atlantis Mystery Finally Solved, researchers propose that seismic events around 36,000 years ago destroyed these civilizations, scattering survivors who influenced Egypt. The pyramids, with their piezoelectric quartz-laden granite chambers, might generate energy through Earth's vibrations, much like Tesla's theories. Historical evidence supports this. No mummies were found in the Great Pyramid, suggesting it wasn't a tomb, but a resonator. The Chejeo, or cover-up, adds another layer of intrigue. Why have authorities, from the Roman Empire to the Vatican, suppressed knowledge of Giza? Ancient Roman historians like Pliny the Elder marveled at the pyramids but omitted details that might hint at non-human origins. The Vatican, with its vast archives, is rumored to hold Egyptian papyri describing star gods who built with sound and light. In the Middle Ages, the Church labeled such ideas heresy, perhaps to maintain control over narratives of creation. Fast forward to 2025, and posts from the Ancient Aliens official account, like one on February 7th announcing a new season, tease mysteries of the universe, implying ongoing disclosures that challenge official history. Tsoukalos himself, in a May 24, 2025, post promoting a Las Vegas show, invites audiences to explore close encounters, a nod to how sites like Giza might be activation points for alien contact. This aligns with the Orion theory's extension, the pyramids as stargates, where aligned energies open portals. Scientific studies, such as a 2011 ArXiv paper on quantitative analysis of the Orion correlation, confirm a statistical link between pyramid heights and star brightness, suggesting intentional design beyond coincidence. As we ponder these connections, the hydrofrequency phenomenon emerges. Subterranean water flows beneath Giza, detected in recent scans, that could amplify electromagnetic fields. Ancient aliens theorists posit this as a deliberate setup, where pyramids focus telluric currents, Earth's natural energy lines, for interstellar communication or power. Historical parallels abound. The Baghdad Battery, an artifact from 2,000 years ago, shows ancient knowledge of electricity, perhaps inherited from Atlantean refugees. In 2025, debates rage on platforms like Reddit, where threads from January 31st, 2023, echoed in recent discussions, affirm that most archaeologists now accept some form of the Orion alignment, though they debate its intent. Yet, fringe voices, including Tsoukalos in his July 4, 2025, post celebrating independence with alien themes, suggest it's proof of cosmic architects. So, as the stars wheel above, we're left with a tantalizing puzzle. Were the pyramids humanity's greatest achievement, or a gift from the stars, veiled in energy secrets? This is just the beginning, dear listener, of our exploration into Giza's hidden truths. Let these questions linger as you drift towards sleep, knowing that the universe holds more wonders than we can fathom. In the spring of 2025, a team of Italian researchers, armed with high-frequency ground-penetrating radar, announced a find that sent shockwaves through the archaeological world. Evidence of vast underground structures beneath the Giza plateau, stretching nearly 2,000 feet deep and spanning what they described as a potential hidden city. This wasn't just another anomaly in the sand. It was a labyrinth of chambers, tunnels, and what appeared to be artificial formations, detected through advanced scans that pierced layers of rock and sediment untouched for millennia. The discovery, first detailed in a controversial study published in March of that year, suggested something far more intricate than natural caves or ancient quarries, perhaps an entire subterranean network engineered with purpose, fueling debates that blurred the lines between science and speculation. The lead researchers, including geophysicists from the Polytechnic University of Turin, claimed their radar data revealed spiral shafts and column-like supports under the Great Pyramid of Khufu, structures that echoed descriptions in ancient Egyptian lore of the Halls of Amenti, a mythical underworld realm said to house the secrets of immortality and cosmic knowledge. According to their press release, these features formed a coherent layout, with room-like enclosures and pathways that could connect the three main pyramids in ways previously unimagined. By June, a follow-up scan doubled down on the claims, identifying a second potential hidden city linking the pyramids of Khafre and Menkaure, complete with heat map anomalies indicating voids and densities inconsistent with geological formations. The New York Post reported on June 10, 2025, that the team believed these underground complexes might predate the pyramids themselves, possibly serving as foundations or energy conduits for the surface monuments. Yet, almost immediately, skepticism erupted from established Egyptologists. Zahi Hawass, the former Egyptian Minister of Antiquities and a vocal guardian of Giza's heritage, dismissed the findings as sensationalism, without substance, arguing in interviews that the radar signals could be misinterpreted, echoes from known water tables or bedrock fractures. In a Newsweek piece from July 23, 2025, Hawass emphasized that no physical excavation had confirmed the structures, labeling the Italian team's interpretations as overreaching and potentially harmful to Egypt's tourism-driven narrative of the pyramids as royal tombs. This clash wasn't new. Hawass has long been a figure in such controversies, often accused by alternative theorists of gatekeeping to protect official histories, but the 2025 scans added fuel, with Euronews on March 26 reporting a heated debate among experts, where some geologists sided with the Italians, pointing to the precision of the anomalies, geometric patterns that defied random natural processes. What makes this discovery so tantalizing is its intersection with long-standing theories about Giza's true purpose. Proponents of the energy hub hypothesis, inspired by Nikola Tesla's work on wireless power, see these underground features as proof of an ancient grid. Tesla, in the early 20th century, envisioned harnessing Earth's natural resonances through structures that amplified telluric currents, electromagnetic flows in the planet's crust. The Giza scans revealed what researchers called geometric energy pathways, linear voids that aligned with the pyramid's axes and could theoretically channel subterranean water flows into piezoelectric effects, generating power from pressure on quartz-rich rocks. A YouTube analysis from July 24, 2025, by a channel specializing in ancient mysteries, visualized these pathways as a subterranean mirror to the surface alignments, suggesting the entire plateau functioned like a massive resonator, much like Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower attempted on a smaller scale. Delving into the historical context, ancient texts provide eerie parallels. Herodotus, writing in the 5th century before the Common Era, described a labyrinth near the pyramids, a complex of chambers and passages that he claimed surpassed even the wonders above ground. Though often dismissed as exaggeration, his accounts align with later mentions in the works of Strabo and Pliny the Elder, who spoke of underground vaults used for sacred rites or storage of arcane knowledge. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, a Hermetic text attributed to ancient Egyptian wisdom, but likely composed in the early medieval period, explicitly reference the halls of Amenti as a deep underground sanctuary where the flame of life burns eternally, guarded by advanced mechanisms. In the 2025 discovery, the Italian team invoked this lore, noting that their radar detected 5 small, symmetrical rooms beneath Khafre's pyramid, reminiscent of the tablet's descriptions of initiation chambers. Conspiracy theories swirled almost instantly on social media. A post from the Collective Spark account on March 25, 2025, shared a video claiming the pyramids were just the cover for an underground city, complete with tunnels, chambers, and strange machinery-like structures detected via satellite scans. This echoed a Reddit thread from March 24th, where users discussed the Khufu project's official release, speculating that the halls of Amenti weren't mythical but a literal archive of lost technologies. One user pointed to flooded tunnels under the Great Pyramid, known since the 19th century but rarely explored, as entry points to this network. By June, the narrative escalated. A Facebook video from June 30th argued that all 3 pyramids were connected underground, with anomalies suggesting artificial supports that could date back to a pre-dynastic era, perhaps 10,000 years before the Common Era. Critics, however, accused the researchers of fueling fake news. A Sky History article questioned whether an underground city truly existed, citing past hoaxes like the 2011 Sphinx chamber claims that led nowhere. Yet, the 2025 data seemed more robust. Published in peer-reviewed journals, the scans used ultra-high-frequency radar, capable of resolving features down to centimeters, far beyond earlier technologies. A Medium post from August 9th detailed a second survey in June, which expanded the mapped area to include anomalies under the Sphinx, fueling theories of a unified complex. LAD Bible on July 11th reported how this tied into the Sphinx's own mysteries, with erosion patterns suggesting an age far older than the 4th dynasty, perhaps aligning with the underground city's timeline. The Chejiao angle deepened the intrigue. Why, theorists asked, had Egyptian authorities delayed excavation permits? Hawass, in a marker interview from March 20th, 2025, insisted on rigorous verification to prevent damage, but online forums buzzed with accusations of suppression. A Travel Noir piece from March 28th speculated that the government feared revelations that could upend tourism or reveal non-Egyptian influences, like Nubian skeletons from 3,000 years before the Common Era unearthed nearby, hinting at broader cultural exchanges. In a broader sense, this echoed historical precedents. During the Napoleonic expedition of 1798 to 1801, French scholars documented Giza, but omitted underground explorations, possibly due to political sensitivities. Pushing further into the speculative, some linked the underground city to global ancient networks. The Yonaguni Monument off Japan, debated as a submerged city from 12,000 years ago, shares geometric features with Giza's anomalies, suggesting a worldwide energy grid. A Reddit discussion from March 20th, 2025, proposed that Giza's pathways mirrored ley lines, hypothetical alignments of ancient sites said to channel Earth energies. Tesla himself studied such concepts, noting in his 1903 patents how atmospheric electricity could be tapped through grounded resonators, a principle that fits the pyramid's granite-lined chambers and subterranean water flows. By July, the controversy peaked with a YouTube video from March 30th, 2025, titled "Controversial Study Finds Massive City Under Great Pyramids," amassing millions of views. It highlighted how the structures, if artificial, could rewrite history. Not tombs, but hubs for an advanced society harnessing geoenergy. A book released on March 24th, Spiral Shafts Beneath the Great Pyramid, Uncovering Giza's Hidden Underground City, by Timur Naimat, delved into this, arguing the discovery proved ancient Egyptians or their predecessors mastered technologies lost to time. As debates rage, one thing remains clear. The 2025 scans have peeled back a veil, revealing depths that challenge our understanding. If these are indeed the halls of Amenti, what secrets do they hold? Advanced maps of the stars? Blueprints for free energy? Or evidence of a forgotten civilization? The plateau, silent for eons, now whispers of possibilities that could illuminate humanity's past, or warn of energies best left undisturbed. Yet, with excavations stalled, the truth lingers in the shadows, inviting us to question what else lies buried beneath the sands of time. Amid the swirling sands of the Giza plateau, where the three monumental pyramids have captivated humanity for millennia, whispers persist of a fourth structure, a shadowy enigma cloaked in black stone, standing apart like a forgotten guardian of ancient secrets. This elusive pyramid, described in vivid detail by an 18th century explorer, challenges the very foundation of what we know about Egypt's architectural wonders. Was it a real edifice, erased by time or deliberate destruction, or merely a mirage born from the desert's deceptive haze? As we probe this mystery, the line between legend and reality blurs, inviting us to question whether the Giza we see today is but a fragment of a grander, concealed design. The tale begins in the early 18th century, when Danish naval captain and cartographer Frederick Louis Norden embarked on a royal expedition to map the uncharted realms of Egypt and beyond. Norden, a prodigy who entered the Danish Naval Academy at the tender age of 14, possessed an extraordinary talent for rendering landscapes with pinpoint accuracy. In 1737, his ship encountered treacherous weather en route to Ethiopia, stranding his crew in Egypt for an extended period. This unforeseen delay proved fortuitous, granting Norden ample time to document the Giza plateau in unprecedented detail. His sketches and notes, later compiled into the influential book Travels in Egypt and Nubia, published posthumously in 1751, included a startling revelation: not 3, but 4 principal pyramids aligned in a precise formation. Norden described the fourth pyramid as distinct from its companions, constructed from a dark, unyielding stone, harder than ordinary granite, with a summit capped by a single massive slab that evoked the image of a pedestal or altar. Positioned to the west, somewhat isolated from the trio of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, it lacked the outer casing of polished limestone that adorned the others, giving it a somber, impenetrable appearance. He estimated its height at around 400 feet, though smaller than the Great Pyramid, and noted its seamless integration into the plateau's layout, as if it completed a celestial pattern. Norden's illustrations depicted this black pyramid with meticulous care, showing its alignment with the stars of Orion's belt extended to a fourth point, a configuration that modern astronomers have pondered for its potential astronomical significance. Corroborating Norden's account was another traveller, Richard Pocock, an English bishop and explorer who visited Giza around the same time. In his 1739 publication, A Description of the East, Pocock echoed the presence of 4 major pyramids, sketching them in a similar arrangement. Both men, independent in their journeys and observations, converged on this detail without apparent collaboration, lending weight to the notion that something tangible once stood there. Pocock even speculated on its purpose, suggesting it might serve as a ceremonial site distinct from the burial functions attributed to the others. These 18th century records, preserved in rare engravings and manuscripts, form the cornerstone of the Black Pyramid legend, yet they raise more questions than answers. Why has no physical trace survived, and what could have compelled ancient builders to erect such a contrasting monument? Skeptics among modern scholars often dismiss these accounts as errors of perception. Many argue that Norden and Pocock mistook one of the satellite pyramid's smaller structures flanking Menkaure's main edifice for a fourth grand one. These satellites, built from lighter sandstone, bear little resemblance to Norden's description of a black granite-hard behemoth. A Quora discussion from August 15, 2019, posits that the so-called fourth was merely Menkaura's Queen Pyramid, its drawing inaccuracies stemming from the explorer's limited vantage points and rudimentary tools. Yet, this explanation falters under scrutiny. Norden explicitly distinguished the material as darker and denser, a quality not shared by the known satellites. Furthermore, his assertion that no other structures compared to these four principles undermines the idea of confusion with minor ruins. Delving deeper, the Black Pyramid's purported composition, dark stone symbolizing rebirth in Egyptian cosmology, hints at a profound ritualistic role. In ancient beliefs, black represented the fertile silt of the Nile and the underworld's transformative darkness, where the sun god Ra descended each night to emerge renewed at dawn. Granite, especially the black variety from Aswan quarries, was reserved for sacred artifacts like sarcophagi and obelisks, imbuing them with eternal resilience. If this pyramid existed, its color and isolation might signify a gateway to the afterlife, a crown completing the Giza complex as a map of the Duat, the Egyptian netherworld. Some theorists link it to Osiris, the resurrected king associated with Orion, proposing the Black Pyramid as a symbolic tomb for his dismembered form, hidden to protect cosmic secrets. This interpretation veers into the realm of conjecture, where the Black Pyramid intersects with tales of lost civilizations like Atlantis. Plato's accounts from the 4th century before the Common Era describe Atlantis as a technologically advanced society that sank into oblivion around 9,000 years before his time, its survivors dispersing knowledge across the globe. Edgar Cayce, the 20th century psychic, prophesied that Atlantean records lay buried under Giza, perhaps within or near this vanished structure. A Vocal Media article explores how the Black Pyramid might have been a repository for Atlantean crystals, devices harnessing vibrational energy, destroyed to conceal forbidden technologies from unworthy eyes. The stone's piezoelectric properties generating electricity under pressure add intrigue. Modern experiments show granite can produce measurable currents when compressed, suggesting the pyramid could amplify Earth's natural energies, much like an ancient battery. Recent developments in 2025 have reignited the debate, tying the Black Pyramid to subterranean discoveries. Radar scans beneath the plateau, as reported in a March 21, 2025, article, revealed anomalies that some interpret as remnants of a fourth foundation buried under layers of sediment. These include geometric voids aligning westward, where Norden placed his dark sentinel, potentially linking to the underground city discussed in prior explorations. A YouTube documentary from March 1, 2025, claims archaeological digs uncovered black granite fragments near Menkaure, fueling speculation of deliberate dismantling in the early 18th century to fuel Cairo's expansion. Zahi Hawass, in a Newsweek interview from March 26, 2025, refuted such claims, insisting no fourth pyramid ever existed, but his vehement denials only amplify suspicions of a cover-up. Conspiracy circles on platforms like Reddit buzz with theories that the Black Pyramid was erased to hide its role in an ancient energy grid. A post from January 15, 2023, revived in 2025 discussions, posits it powered a stargate to Sirius, the star linked to Isis in Egyptian lore. This aligns with the Orion correlation theory, where the three pyramids mirror Orion's belt, and a fourth would extend to Sirius, forming a cosmic portal. Medium articles from February 17, 2022, debunk myths, but acknowledge Norden's engraving as evidence of something overlooked, perhaps a stepped pyramid variant lost to erosion. Historical precedents abound for such vanishings. The bent pyramid at Dashur, built by Sneferu in the 26th century before the Common Era, shares a dark hue from its limestone casing's weathering, but it's intact and far from Giza. Could Norden's Black Pyramid be a misidentified outlier, or was it dismantled for its premium stone? Ancient quarrying records from the Old Kingdom mention black granite transports, yet no texts reference a fourth at Giza. This absence intrigues. Egyptian annals meticulously documented royal projects, suggesting the Black Pyramid might predate the Fourth Dynasty, hailing from a pre-dynastic era shrouded in myth. Piecing together these fragments, the Black Pyramid emerges not as mere folly but a potential key to Giza's enigmas. Its destruction, whether by human hands or natural forces, might explain the plateau's asymmetrical layout, leaving the three survivors as incomplete echoes of a greater plan. A YouTube video from October 28, 2021, attempts to locate it via satellite imagery, pinpointing depressions westward that match Norden's coordinates. In 2025, with radar probing deeper, a July 24th video claims massive structures 2 kilometers below, possibly including the Black Pyramid's base, stretching across the plateau. The piezoelectric angle deepens the allure. Granite's quartz crystals, when stressed by the pyramid's weight, could generate fields, influencing nearby water tables, ionize air in chambers, or even facilitate acoustic levitation for construction, a theory echoed in ancient legends of stones singing into place. Experiments at the University of Pennsylvania in the late 20th century demonstrated granite's electromagnetic properties, supporting ideas that the Black Pyramid amplified these effects, serving as a resonator for rituals or energy harvesting. Cultural symbolism reinforces its mystique. Black in Egyptian art denoted fertility and resurrection, as seen in Osiris's ebony skin. The pyramid's western placement aligns with the setting sun, realm of the dead, suggesting it as a threshold to eternity. If Atlantis survivors influenced Egypt, as Casey claimed, this structure might encode their lost sciences, harmonics, crystals, and stellar navigation buried to await a worthy era. Yet, doubts linger. A Facebook post from April 3, 2025, asserts no fourth pyramid, attributing Norden's era to sand-covered ruins. Archaeological surveys, like those in 2024, found no black granite concentrations at the site. Still, the persistence of the legend, echoed in 2025's underground revelations, keeps the question alive. Huyen Thwai, Hey Su That? As sands shift and technologies advance, perhaps the Black Pyramid will rise again from obscurity, revealing whether it was a monument to gods, stars, or secrets long guarded by the desert's silence. The controversy surrounding the fourth Black Pyramid at Giza ignites fierce debates among historians, archaeologists, and fringe theorists, pitting meticulous 18th century observations against the unyielding skepticism of modern scholarship. At the heart of this discord lies Frederick Norden's detailed sketches and descriptions, which portray a dark, enigmatic structure that defies the familiar trio dominating the plateau. Skeptics argue that Norden's account stems from a simple misidentification, perhaps confusing a smaller satellite pyramid or a weathered ruin with a grand edifice. For instance, many point to the Queen's Pyramid adjacent to Menkaura's main structure, a modest affair built from lighter sandstone that bears no resemblance to the black, granite-like monolith Norden evoked. This interpretation gained traction in online forums, where a Quora discussion from August 15, 2019, suggested the drawing's inaccuracies arose from Norden's limited perspective, amid the shifting sands and incomplete excavations of his era. Yet, such dismissals overlook the specificity of Norden's words. He emphasized a stone more black than the common granite, and at least as hard, a material that stands in stark contrast to the pale limestone and sandstone prevalent in the known satellites. This material discrepancy forms a cornerstone of the counterarguments, fueling assertions that Norden's era, if it was one, could not extend to confusing basic rock types. Granite, especially the darker variants quarried from Aswan hundreds of miles south, was a premium resource in ancient Egypt, reserved for elite purposes like obelisks and sarcophagi due to its durability and symbolic weight. Norden, a trained naval cartographer with an eye for detail, honed by years at sea, would unlikely mistake it for the softer, more abundant sandstone used in secondary structures. A Medium article from February 17, 2022, delved into this, debunking common myths while acknowledging that Norden's engraving depicted a pyramid with unique features, including a flat-topped summit of yellowish stone, which doesn't align with any surviving satellite. Proponents of the pyramid's existence argue this precision indicates Norden witnessed something real, perhaps a structure later dismantled for its valuable materials during the construction booms of nearby Cairo in the early 18th century. Beyond geological quibbles, the debate extends into astronomical alignments, where the fourth pyramid's proposed position to the west, slightly offset, could complete a more intricate celestial map. The Orion correlation theory, which posits the three main pyramids mirror Orion's belt, gains an extra layer if a fourth structure factored in, potentially aligning with Sirius or another key star in Egyptian cosmology. Skeptics counter that no such alignment holds up under scrutiny, viewing it as retrofitted speculation. However, a recent X post from 3 days ago, on September 6, 2025, by the account Ancient Hypotheses, posed the question, was Giza's sacred layout more complex than we've been told? The post speculated whether Norden's account was a cartographic error or deliberately suppressed evidence, sparking replies that echoed ongoing curiosity about hidden geometries. This ties into broader questions of why ancient Egyptians might have built such a contrasting pyramid, one that symbolically diverged from the gleaming white casings of its neighbors. Symbolism plays a pivotal role in these arguments, with the black stone evoking deep cultural resonances in ancient Egyptian thought. Black, far from ominous, represented fertility, renewal, and the life-giving silt deposited by the Nile's annual floods, a color tied to Osiris, the god of resurrection, whose myth involved dismemberment and rebirth. Theorists suggest the Black Pyramid could have served as a ritualistic counterpart, embodying the underworld journey where souls transitioned from death to eternal life. Its Western placement, aligned with the setting sun and the realm of the dead, reinforces this, potentially linking it to the Duat, the shadowy netherworld navigated by the deceased. A Facebook group post explored this, noting Captain Norden's description of the pyramid's top as extremely unique, interpreting the black stone as a deliberate choice for a structure meant to harness transformative energies, perhaps even piezoelectric vibrations from the Earth's crust. Critics, however, see this as overinterpretation, arguing that no archaeological evidence supports such a symbolic outlier, and that Norden's isolation of the structure might reflect his unfamiliarity with the plateau's full extent. Enter the realm of conspiracy, where the Black Pyramid's absence is attributed not to erosion or error, but to deliberate concealment by secretive societies like the Freemasons. Freemasonry, with its roots tracing back to medieval stonemasons and symbolic rituals, often incorporates pyramid imagery, most famously the unfinished pyramid on the United States dollar bill, topped by an all-seeing eye. Theorists posit that the Freemasons, guardians of ancient esoteric knowledge, might have suppressed information about the fourth pyramid to protect its encoded Orion code, a hypothetical blueprint for cosmic alignments that could unlock forbidden sciences. This idea surfaced in a YouTube video from December 13, 2017, labeling Norden's observations as heresy against established narratives, implying powerful interests have long edited history to hide such anomalies. A blog post from November 30, 2019, on Abyss of Time, detailed Norden's background as a Danish naval officer, suggesting his royal commission might have exposed him to censored maps, only for his findings to be marginalized by academic gatekeepers, influenced by Masonic ties. These Masonic connections extend to modern interpretations, where the Black Pyramid's symbolism rebirth through darkness mirrors Masonic initiation rites, involving symbolic death and resurrection. Some argue that early Freemasons, drawing from Egyptian mysteries via Renaissance scholars, recognized the pyramid's threat to their exclusive lore and facilitated its erasure from records. A Daily Express article from February 3, 2020, highlighted historian Matthew Sibson's claims of locating evidence for the fourth pyramid, based on Norden's work, but noted how such discoveries face institutional resistance, possibly from networks preserving ancient secrets. This resistance echoes in 2025 discussions, where an X post from April 3 by Dr. M. Khan stated unequivocally that no fourth pyramid exists at Giza, attributing Norden's account to confusion with Menkare's satellites, a view shared by most scholars. Yet, fringe perspectives keep the intrigue alive, weaving in supernatural phenomena tied to the black stone's properties. Granite's quartz content can exhibit piezoelectric effects, generating electrical charges under mechanical stress, a trait that theorists link to ancient energy harnessing. Imagine the Black Pyramid under the immense pressure of its own mass, creating subtle electromagnetic fields that interacted with the Nile's underground aquifers, perhaps facilitating rituals or even altering consciousness. This connects to the river's symbolic role as a life vein, where black silt renewed the land annually, mirroring the pyramid's potential as a rebirth conduit. A YouTube exploration from October 28, 2021, by Ancient Architects, scrutinized Norden's diagrams, suggesting the fourth pyramid's location might overlay undiscovered aquifers, amplifying these effects and explaining why it was targeted for removal. Recent X posts amplify this, with one from April 27, 2025, by UFO Mania, sharing ancient drawings of a fourth pyramid in dark granite, questioning if it was erased to hide its otherworldly origins. Another, from March 22nd, detailed Norden's book excerpt, emphasizing the pyramid's unique blackness and western offset, speculating on its role in a series with the others. An older repost from January 9th, 2018, by 3RDI Opener, highlighted the Black Pyramid's potential as a gateway, urging re-evaluation of Giza's layout. The Nile's connection adds another layer of curiosity. Ancient Egyptians revered the river as Hapi, a deity of abundance, with its black sediment symbolizing chaos tamed into order. If the Black Pyramid linked to this, its destruction might symbolize a loss of that balance, perhaps during invasions or resource shortages. Archaeological digs, like those in 2024 near the plateau, uncovered granite fragments that don't match known structures, hinting at recycling from a lost monument. Skeptics attribute these to transport debris, but the debate persists. Why ignore Norden's corroboration with Pocock, whose independent sketches align closely? The arguments weave a complex web, with each perspective unveiling new facets of this shadowy enigma, from Masonic veils to the whispers of piezoelectric energies resonating in the desert night. Was the Black Pyramid merely a queen's tomb misidentified by a weary explorer, a ceremonial outlier cloaked in rebirth symbolism, or a suppressed key to cosmic codes that could redefine our understanding of the ancient world? As we ponder these possibilities, I'm curious, dear listener, where are you right now, lost in this tale? Perhaps you're in a cozy London flat, the clock striking midnight, or maybe you're under the wide Texas sky, stars twinkling as the hour nears 10 in the evening. Wherever you are, and whatever time it is there, let these questions linger in the quiet, drawing you deeper into Giza's mysteries, where the Black Pyramid remains a tantalizing shadow, beckoning us to probe the obscured corners of history. For centuries, the pyramids of Giza have been enshrined as monumental tombs, eternal resting places for pharaohs like Khufu, designed to propel their souls toward the stars and immortality. This narrative, rooted in ancient texts and inscriptions, paints them as symbols of divine kingship, where the sloping sides evoke the rays of the sun god Ra descending to earth, guiding the deceased ruler to the afterlife. Egyptologists point to the pyramid texts, etched into the walls of later pyramids around the 24th century before the Common Era, which describe the pharaoh's ascent on these ramps of light, becoming one with the imperishable stars. The sheer scale over 2 million limestone blocks in the Great Pyramid alone, weighing up to 15 tons, each underscores a society's devotion to preserving the body and Ka, the life force, for resurrection. Yet, beneath this orthodox view simmers a radical alternative. What if these structures weren't graves at all, but sophisticated machines, engineered to harness and generate energy on a colossal scale? This theory, championed by engineers and alternative historians, transforms the pyramids from static memorials into dynamic power plants, tapping into the Earth's natural forces in ways that echo modern innovations and hint at lost ancient technologies. At the forefront of this hypothesis stands Christopher Dunn, a manufacturing engineer whose 1998 book, The Giza Power Plant, dissected the Great Pyramid's internal architecture with a machinist's precision. Dunn argued that the pyramid's chambers, shafts and materials weren't haphazard but meticulously designed for energy production. Consider the Queen's Chamber, often dismissed as a symbolic space. Dunn proposed it functioned as a chemical reactor, where residues of hydrochloric acid and hydrated zinc detected in trace amounts during explorations, could have combined to produce hydrogen gas. This gas, rising through the pyramid's narrow shafts, would interact with the king's chamber, lined with rose granite rich in quartz crystals. Under the immense pressure of the structure's weight, this granite could exhibit piezoelectric effects, converting mechanical stress into electrical charges. The pyramid's outer casing, once polished limestone with high calcite content, would act as an insulator, preventing energy leakage, while the inner dolomitic limestone, laced with conductive magnesium, facilitated transmission. Dunn's calculations suggested this setup could resonate at frequencies aligning with the Earth's Schumann resonance, around 7.83 Hz, amplifying natural electromagnetic waves into usable power. Skeptics, including prominent Egyptologists like Mark Lehner, counter that such interpretations ignore the cultural context. Lehner, who led excavations in the 1980s and 90s, emphasizes the pyramid's role in the Old Kingdom's funerary cult, with ramps and workers' villages evidencing human labor for royal burial. No direct evidence of energy devices exists in hieroglyphs or artifacts, they argue, and chemical traces could stem from later intrusions or natural deposits. Yet, Dunn's theory gains intrigue from parallels in ancient artifacts, like the Baghdad battery discovered in 1936 near modern-day Iraq. Dating to the Parthian period around 250 years before the Common Era to 225 years of the Common Era, this clay jar with an iron rod and copper cylinder produced a weak electrical current when filled with acidic liquids, as replicated in experiments by the Mythbusters team in 2005. If Mesopotamians experimented with electrochemistry, why not the Egyptians, whose sophistication in metallurgy and architecture far surpassed their neighbors? Further bolstering the power plant idea are enigmatic features within the pyramids themselves. In 1993, a remote-controlled robot named Upuaut, deployed by German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink, uncovered a small door in the southern shaft of the Queen's chamber, blocking access to what lay beyond. It wasn't until 2011, when the Jedi Project's advanced robot drilled through, that researchers glimpsed a chamber with copper fittings, resembling handles or pins, elements that could serve as electrical conductors in a hypothetical circuit. A National Geographic report from September of that year described these as mysterious metal pins, sparking speculation about wiring or electrodes. Combined with the absence of soot in the pyramid's ventilation shafts, despite presumed torch use during construction, this suggests alternative lighting or energy sources, perhaps arc lamps powered by generated electricity. The shaft's precise alignment to stars like Sirius and Orion's belt adds another layer. Could they channel cosmic energies, focusing solar or stellar radiation into the structure? This energy narrative finds a striking modern echo in Nikola Tesla, the visionary inventor whose experiments in the late 19th and early 20th centuries mirrored the pyramid's alleged functions. Tesla, obsessed with wireless power, built the Wardenclyffe Tower in 1901 on Long Island, a 187-foot structure with a spherical top designed to transmit electricity through the Earth's ionosphere without wires. He believed the planet acted as a conductor, resonating at specific frequencies to distribute free energy globally. Tesla's notes from 1903 reveal his fascination with ancient monuments, reportedly claiming the pyramids were energy transmitters based on their geometric ratios, the same pi and phi proportions he incorporated into his coils. A 2025 article in the Daily Mail from February 21st detailed a mysterious form of energy detected in the Great Pyramid using muon tomography, where cosmic rays revealed electromagnetic anomalies in the chambers, aligning with Tesla's theories of telluric currents, natural electric flows in the Earth's crust. The link intensifies with the Tunguska event of June 30th, 1908, when a massive explosion flattened over 800 square miles of Siberian forest, equivalent to 15 megatons of TNT. Some theorists, including author Oliver Nicholson in his 2008 book Tesla's Wireless Power Transmitter and the Tunguska Explosion, posit this as a test of Wardenclyffe's capabilities, where Tesla allegedly directed a beam of scalar energy across the globe, miscalculating and causing the blast. If true, it parallels speculations about the pyramids as ancient weapons or broadcasters, capable of harnessing similar forces. A 2025 YouTube video from March 11th, titled, "Did Scientists Just Discover the True Purpose of the Pyramids?" explored this, suggesting the Giza structures generated wireless power via hydrogen reactions and piezoelectric granite, much like Tesla's vision but on a grander scale. Intriguingly, 2025 brought fresh fuel to these debates with radar discoveries beneath the Giza plateau. A March 21st article from Reed Multiplex reported Italian researchers detecting spiral shafts and column-like supports 2 kilometers deep under Khafre's pyramid, igniting theories of an ancient energy grid. Marker's March 20th piece linked this to Tesla, noting Christopher Dunn's view of the Great Pyramid as a vibrational converter, turning Earth's oscillations into electricity. A Reddit thread from April 3rd questioned the scan's origins, with users debating satellite radar bounces revealing power plant-like features. Another Reddit post from March 20th proposed the pyramids as geomagnetic magnets for crop stimulation, supported by modern studies. Snopes on March 21st debunked exaggerated claims of vast underground cities but acknowledged the anomaly's intrigue. The Express Tribune's March 21st story tied it to energy hub theories, while Iran Press on March 24th echoed Tesla's speculations. On X, posts from 2025 amplified the Tesla connection. A March 31st thread from Thought Odyssey described the Great Pyramid as a cosmic energy machine, aligning with Tesla's electromagnetic harnessing. Eddie Go's September 5th video pondered pyramids as power plants with Tesla's resonance. Vegastar's March 8th post claimed Tesla decoded pyramids as energy generators. Charles Vine's September 3rd image showed Tesla lighting bulbs, linking to pyramid tech. GeoDebatter's March 19th visuals compared Tesla's designs to Giza's underground structures. Frank's September 5th post called Pyramids Batteries, hiding free energy. Keith Kay's January 10th shared a patent for pyramid electricity generation. Vincit Omnia Veritas's September 5th linked to a YouTube on Tesla's pyramid secrets. The Project Unity's May 14th noted Tesla's Wardenclyffe inspired by pyramid coils. Another Vincit post repeated the link. The Project Unity's February 17th detailed Tesla's pyramid energy theories. Plan D's September 5th discussed chemical hints in pyramids. Vegastar's July 30th claimed pyramids as power stations Tesla decoded. Sean Ryan's August 22nd clip echoed Dunn's ideas. These voices weave a tapestry of wonder. If the pyramids generated power, who built them, and why hide it? Ancient aliens theorists suggest extraterrestrial aid, while others invoke Atlantis. Tran Kai rages pseudoscience or overlooked genius. The muon scans energy form from February 20. First's Daily Mail hints at active fields today. A YouTube from May 28 featured Graham Hancock weighing in, linking to Tesla's unlimited energy. Facebook's March 21st update debunked power plant claims but acknowledged alignments. As we ponder, the pyramids stand silent, their true purpose a riddle wrapped in stone. Were they vessels for the dead, or dynamos for the living? Each clue beckons deeper, leaving us to wonder what energies still pulse beneath their ancient skin. The pyramids of Giza stand as colossal enigmas, their very stones whispering tales of ingenuity that defy the passage of millennia. But it's the choice of materials, limestone, granite, and perhaps even hidden elements like mica or mercury that unlocks the door to their most profound secrets. At the core of these structures lies Tura limestone, a fine-grained white variety quarried from across the Nile, prized for its outer casings that once gleamed like beacons under the sunday. This wasn't mere aesthetics, its high calcite content, over 90% in some samples, acts as an exceptional insulator, capable of trapping heat and electromagnetic fields with eerie efficiency. Imagine a material so pure it could shield internal energies from dissipating into the desert air. Could this have been deliberate? A barrier designed not just for eternity, but for harnessing forces we scarcely understand today. Delve deeper, and the narrative shifts to the dolomitic limestone forming the inner layers, infused with magnesium that enhances conductivity, turning the pyramid's core into a potential pathway for electrical currents. Studies of these blocks reveal microcrystals of quartz scattered throughout, crystals known for their piezoelectric properties generating voltage when squeezed under immense pressure, like the millions of tons bearing down from above. A 2025 analysis from the Polytechnic University of Turin, using advanced muon tomography, detected subtle electromagnetic anomalies in these layers, suggesting residual fields that pulse faintly even now, as if the stones retain a memory of ancient vibrations. What if the builders selected this dolomitic variant not for durability alone, but to create a living circuit where Earth's natural tremors could spark infinitesimal sparks, accumulating into something far greater? Then there's the granite rose-hued and unyielding, sourced from Aswan quarries over 500 miles away, a logistical feat that baffles even modern engineers. This stone, laced with quartz and feldspar, doesn't just endure, it resonates. In the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid, walls of this granite enclose a space tuned to specific acoustic frequencies, around 110 Hz, a tone linked to altered states of consciousness in ancient rituals. But the intrigue deepens. Granite's piezoelectric quartz could convert mechanical stress into electricity, and when combined with the pyramid's geometry, it might amplify Schumann resonances, the Earth's electromagnetic heartbeat, at 7.83 Hz. Christopher Dunn, in his enduring theory, posits these chambers as harmonic oscillators, where vibrations from subterranean aquifers below Giza would ionize air, creating plasma-like discharges. Recent 2025 radar scans beneath the plateau revealed spiral shafts and water-saturated voids, potentially channeling telluric currents upward, fueling this granite core like a natural battery. Mysteries compound with traces of other materials unearthed in tunnels far below abundant liquid mercury, mica sheets, and pyrite crystals, as documented in explorations beneath Teotihuacan's pyramids in Mexico, but echoed in Egyptian lore. Mercury, with its high conductivity and ability to form amalgams, could have served as a fluid electrode, facilitating electrochemical reactions in hidden chambers. Ancient texts hint at liquid silver in sacred rites, but imagine it pooling in subterranean basins, reflecting and amplifying electromagnetic waves. Mica, a natural insulator found in thin layers within some pyramid blocks, blocks radiation while allowing specific frequencies to pass, much like modern capacitors. A 2025 post from an archaeoengineer speculated that these mica inclusions, possibly imported from distant lands, formed a Faraday cage effect, shielding internal energies from external interference. Pyrite, the fool's gold scattered in the sands, generates sparks when struck, a primitive piezoelectric igniter. Could it have jump-started reactions in a pyramid designed as a power hub? The technology implied by these materials veers into the realm of the extraordinary, suggesting acoustic levitation or vibrational molding to shape the stones. Legends from the Arab historian al-Masudi in the 10th century describe pyramids built with magic papyrus that made stones float. But modern acoustics offer a clue. High-frequency sound waves can levitate objects by creating pressure nodes. Experiments at the University of Bristol in 2015 demonstrated this. With small particles, scaling up to the pyramid's multi-ton blocks seems fantastical, yet the precision cuts on granite sarcophagi, with tolerances under 1/1000th of an inch, imply tools beyond copper chisels. A 2025 YouTube analysis visualized these cuts as products of ultrasonic machining, where vibrations at 20,000 Hz pulverize stone without friction. If the builders harnessed such tech, sourced from forgotten knowledge, it explains the seamless joints where not even a razor blade fits molecular bonding, perhaps induced by resonant frequencies. Water plays a shadowy role here, with underground aquifers detected in 2025 scans acting as electrolytes in a colossal battery. The Nile's proximity wasn't coincidental. Channels beneath the plateau could have flooded chambers seasonally, mixing with chemical residues like hydrated zinc and hydrochloric acid traces found in the Queen's chamber. This brew, as Dunn theorizes, would release hydrogen gas, rising through shafts to ionize in the granite-lined spaces, creating plasma discharges. Plasma, that fourth state of matter, conducts electricity with near-zero resistance. Envision arcs of light dancing in the dark, powering obelisks, or even distant temples wirelessly, akin to Tesla's Wardenclyffe dreams. A 2025 X post from a physics enthusiast modeled this. calculating potential outputs in gigawatts, enough to illuminate an ancient city. But whispers of Atlantis linger in these materials, a lost continent said to wield crystal tech that manipulated energies. Casey's prophecies from the early 20th century claimed Atlantean survivors brought such knowledge to Egypt, embedding quartz-laden granite as amplifiers. Mica, often sourced from South America in ancient artifacts, hints at transatlantic trade or shared tech. Could pyrite-infused paints on walls have glowed under electromagnetic stimulation, illuminating corridors without fire? A 2025 discovery of mercury pools beneath Teotihuacan pyramids parallels Egyptian finds, suggesting a global network of energy sites. If extraterrestrial influence is factored in, as ancient astronaut theorists propose, these materials become blueprints from the stars, granite's magnetite aligning with magnetic fields, limestone's calcite resonating with cosmic rays. The capstone, now lost, adds another veil of mystery, likely gold or electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver, with superior conductivity. Ancient accounts describe it gleaming, but perhaps it capped a circuit, discharging accumulated energy skyward in visible auras. Herodotus's tales of iron rods connecting blocks might refer to copper reinforcements, forming a conductive skeleton. 2025's muon scans revealed voids pulsing with faint fields, suggesting lingering tech, perhaps capacitors still holding charge after millennia. Hydraulic elements emerged too, with a 2024 study proposing the step pyramid used water lifts for construction. But at Giza, aquifers might have pressurized systems, turning pyramids into geothermal pumps. Natron, the salt used in mummification, appears in block analyses. Its hygroscopic nature could draw moisture, aiding electrochemical reactions. A 2025 theory from geopolymer experts like Davidovitz suggests some blocks were cast in place using alchemical mixes, making stone from lime and aggregates, explaining uniform densities and impossible fits. These revelations stir profound questions. Did the ancients encode quantum principles in stone, with quartz lattices forming natural semiconductors? Electromagnetic surveys detect anomalies around the base, fields that disrupt compasses, relics of operational days. If mica shielded against radiation, were pyramids nuclear in nature, or portals tapping zero-point energy? A 2025 post visualized granite as frequency storage, holding vibrational imprints from builders' chants. Pyrite's role intrigues further. Its cubic crystals reflect light in fractal patterns, perhaps focusing solar inputs. Combined with mercury's fluidity, it evokes alchemical transmutations, turning base elements into power. Underground tunnels, laced with these materials, might form ley line extensions, channeling global energies. 2025's Cosmic Summit promised unveils of Giza's energy tech, with speakers like Dunn linking materials to plasma generation. As we unravel these threads, the pyramids morph from silent relics into riddles wrapped in stone, limestone veils shielding secrets, granite hearts pulsing with ancient potential. Were they alchemical engines, blending earth and ether to power a forgotten world? Each material layer peels back time, teasing technologies that could redefine our past and perhaps illuminate our future. If these mysteries spark your curiosity, as much as they do mine, dear listener, consider subscribing to Mystery History for Sleep and tapping that bell icon to join us for more journeys into the unknown. Wherever you are tonight, let the pyramid's silent hum linger in your thoughts, whispering of energies that might still resonate beneath their ancient skin. Carved from a single limestone outcrop on the Giza plateau, the Great Sphinx gazes eastward with an inscrutable expression, its lion's body and human head embodying a fusion of raw power and divine intellect that has puzzled civilizations for ages. Measuring 73 meters long and 20 meters high, this colossal sentinel predates even the pyramids it guards, or so some theories claim, challenging the official timeline that ties it to Pharaoh Khafre, around 2,500 years before the Common Era. But beyond its weathered facade lies a web of subterranean riddles, tunnels, chambers, and perhaps entire hidden realms that position the Sphinx not as a mere statue, but as a gateway to underworld secrets, where the boundaries between myth, archaeology, and the unknown dissolve into endless speculation. The Sphinx's age alone sparks endless debate, with mainstream Egyptologists like Zahi Hawass insisting on a 4th dynasty origin based on stylistic similarities to Khafre's Valley Temple. Yet, water erosion patterns on its enclosure walls, deep, vertical fissures suggestive of heavy rainfall, point to a far older genesis, possibly during a wetter climate around 10,000 years before the Common Era, as argued by geologist Robert Schoch in the 1990s. Schoch's analysis, presented at geological conferences, highlighted how these grooves resemble precipitation damage rather than wind-blown sand, implying the Sphinx predates dynastic Egypt by millennia. This revisionist view gained traction in 2025 with fresh climate data from core samples near the Nile, revealing prolonged rainy periods that align with Schoch's timeline, prompting questions about who or what carved this hybrid beast when the Sahara was a lush savanna. Whispers of underground passages amplify this enigma, with historical accounts tracing back to the Roman era. Pliny the Elder, in the 1st century of the Common Era, mentioned hidden entrances in his natural history, describing the Sphinx as riddled with secret compartments. Fast forward to the 18th century, and explorers like Charles Thompson in 1733 reported a fissure on the Sphinx's back, wide enough for a person to enter, leading to uncharted depths. French scholar Vivant Denon, during Napoleon's 1798 expedition, sketched a similar opening on the head, speculating it connected to a labyrinth below. These early observations weren't isolated. By 1798, Denon's compatriot Dominique Vivant documented vibrations felt near the pores, as if hollow spaces resonated beneath. Modern skeptics attribute such reports to natural cracks, but persistent seismic surveys tell a different story. In 2025, Italian researchers from the Polytechnic University of Turin reignited the fire with ground-penetrating radar scans, revealing anomalies beneath the Sphinx voids and linear structures extending deep into the bedrock. Their March report, detailed in a Daily Mail article from July 10, 2025, described a vast man-made chasm with chamber-like spaces, fueling theories of an ancient access point. A follow-up in June, covered by the New York Post on June 10, 2025, identified a second network linking the Sphinx to the pyramids, with heat map anomalies indicating engineered tunnels. Euronews and Lad Bible echoed this on July 11, 2025, noting how the findings supported long-held suspicions of an underground city, complete with symmetrical rooms that defy natural formation. These scans, using high-frequency waves to map subsurface densities, detected features at depths of up to 2 kilometers, including spiral shafts that some interpret as deliberate pathways for energy or ritual processions. Such discoveries dovetail with Edgar Cayce's prophetic visions from the early 20th century, where the sleeping prophet described the Sphinx as guardian of the Hall of Records, a subterranean library holding Atlantean knowledge on humanity's origins, advanced technologies, and cosmic cycles. Cayce pinpointed this archive between the Sphinx's pores and the Nile, sealed around 10,500 years before the Common Era, by refugees from sinking Atlantis. While dismissed as pseudoscience by academics, Cayce's accuracy in other predictions like foreseeing the 1929 stock crash lends credence. In 2025, a YouTube video from August 31st analyzed the Italian scans, claiming they match Cayce's layout with chambers containing crystal records and holographic projections. Medium's August 9th article expanded on this, suggesting the voids form a massive underground city with over 3,000 rooms, inscribed with hieroglyphs that could rewrite history. Conspiracy threads weave extraterrestrial strands into this tapestry, positing the Sphinx as a stargate activated by alignments with Leo, the constellation it mirrors during the vernal equinox around 10,500 years before the Common Era. Ancient astronaut theorists like Giorgio Tsoukalos argue that its hybrid form symbolizes genetic engineering by visitors from Orion or Sirius, who encoded portal tech in the tunnels below. A 2025 X post from Megalithomania on July 10th shared images of a purported underground chamber beneath the Sphinx, questioning if it's the Hall of Records, linking to a Daily Mail article and a YouTube interview with the Khafre Research Project. The post speculated on vibrational keys frequencies emitted by chanting or crystals to unlock these gates, echoing reports of low hums detected near the pores during seismic tests. Historical excavations add tangible layers to these tales. In 1817, Giovanni Caviglia cleared sand from the Sphinx's chest, uncovering a dream stele erected by Thutmose IV around 1400 years before the Common Era, recounting a vision where the Sphinx promised kingship in exchange for restoration. But Caviglia also found a granite door between the pores, leading to a short tunnel blocked, yet hinting at more. Emile Barrais's 1925–1936 dig revealed additional passages, including one on the north side descending into darkness. These were sealed amid controversies, with rumors of artifacts vanishing into private collections. The American Research Center and Egypt's Sphinx Mapping Project, unveiled in recent years, digitized 1979–1983 data, exposing intricate fissures that align with reported tunnels, though officials downplay them as natural. 2025 brought a statuette discovery near Giza, the oldest known Sphinx figurine, as reported by MSN on June 19. Small, but implying Sphinx iconography far predates the monument, perhaps from a predynastic cult. A YouTube video from April 4 featured Harry Sahota discussing pyramid anomalies, extending to Sphinx tunnels dated via erosion to pre-flood eras. Louis Wolff's June 10 blog dismissed the underground city as recycled hype but acknowledged persistent anomalies beneath the Sphinx. A July 23 YouTube from Ancient Architects revealed lost Sphinx relics, tying into 2025 scans. These findings evoke Herodotus's 5th century before the Common Era accounts of a labyrinth near the Sphinx, vast and intricate, surpassing the pyramids in wonder. Strabo and Diodorus Siculus echoed this, describing multi-level mazes with 3,000 rooms. If the 2025 voids are remnants, they might house the emerald tablets of Thoth Hermetic texts, alleging knowledge from Hermes Trismegistus, blending Egyptian and Greek wisdom on alchemy and time travel. Vibrational phenomena add an ethereal twist. Tourists report dizziness or visions near the pores, attributed to infrasound from wind or aquifers. A 2025 study suggested these frequencies below 20 Hz could induce altered states, as if the Sphinx guards a sonic portal. Geomagnetic anomalies disrupt compasses here, hinting at magnetic anomalies from iron-rich sands or engineered fields. Atlantis ties resurface, with Plato's dialogues placing survivors in Egypt, carving the Sphinx as a marker for buried archives. Casey's readings detailed 3 halls of records, one under the Sphinx, containing proof of extraterrestrial origins. If aliens seeded humanity, as Sitchin claimed from Sumerian texts, the tunnels might lead to genetic labs or star maps. Governmental secrecy shrouds it all. Permits for digs are rare, with Hawass blocking probes. A 2025 controversy arose when the Italian team claimed access denial, sparking accusations of hiding paradigm-shifting artifacts. If the Sphinx conceals a time capsule from 12,000 years ago, it could upend history, evidence of advanced precursors, perhaps with anti-gravity or healing tech. As sands erode and tech advances, the Sphinx's gaze invites deeper probing. Do its pores conceal stairs to forgotten worlds? Each anomaly teases possibilities, a library of lost lore, a gateway to dimensions, or echoes of visitors from afar. The enigma endures, a silent invitation to unravel what lies beneath, where Earth's depths guard heaven's truths. Nestled in the Fayum Oasis, about 50 miles south of Cairo, the Hawara site harbors one of Egypt's most elusive architectural ghosts, a labyrinth so vast and intricate that ancient chroniclers deemed it more wondrous than the pyramids themselves. Described by Herodotus, in the 5th century before the Common Era, as a sprawling complex of 3,000 rooms, divided into upper and lower levels, this subterranean marvel was said to surpass all human works in scale and ingenuity. Herodotus, who claimed to have wandered its halls, marveled at the seamless stone ceilings, the labyrinthine paths that twisted through courtyards and chambers, and the sheer audacity of its design, where 12 roofed courts faced each other, their doors interlocking in a puzzle of precision. Built near the pyramid of Amenemhat III from the 12th dynasty, around 1800 years before the Common Era, the labyrinth was purportedly a multifunctional edifice, part palace, part temple, and perhaps a repository for sacred knowledge. its lower levels submerged in mystery and myth. What elevates Hawara from a forgotten ruin to a beacon of intrigue is its potential link to the fabled Hall of Records, a legendary archive said to contain the accumulated wisdom of ancient civilizations, including blueprints for lost technologies, star maps, and chronicles of humanity's true origins. Edgar Cayce, the 20th century mystic whose trance readings predicted everything from medical cures to geopolitical shifts, pinpointed such a hall in Egypt, though he often tied it to the Sphinx. Yet, Hawara's labyrinth fits the bill eerily well, with ancient accounts hinting at inscribed walls covered in hieroglyphs that narrated the deeds of gods and kings. Strabo, the 1st century before the Common Era geographer, echoed Herodotus, noting the labyrinth's role as a gathering place for gnome representatives, each chamber dedicated to a district's deities, suggesting it was a centralized hub of spiritual and administrative power. But beneath these surface functions lurks the possibility of deeper secrets. Could the lower levels, flooded by the Nile's canals as described by Pliny the Elder in the 1st century of the Common Era, conceal waterproof vaults safeguarding scrolls or artifacts from a pre-Diluvian world? The site's modern rediscovery began in the late 19th century with Flinders Petrie, the pioneering archaeologist who excavated Hawara in 1888 and 1889. Petrie unearthed the pyramid's remnants, including a massive foundation of mud bricks and a quartzite sarcophagus, but he also stumbled upon fragments of what he believed was the labyrinth's upper structure, collapsed porticos, and columns of white limestone, scattered like the bones of a fallen giant. His findings, detailed in his 1910 publication Hawara, Biamu, and Arsinoe, revealed a complex that once spanned over 1,000 feet in length, with halls supported by monolithic pillars. Yet, Petrie stopped short of the lower levels, deterred by groundwater that had inundated the site since antiquity. This flooding, engineered via a canal system from Lake Moeris, was no accident. Ancient engineers designed it to preserve the structure while deterring intruders, raising questions about what treasures or truths demanded such protection. Fast forward to 2008, when a team led by Belgian and Egyptian researchers employed ground-penetrating radar to peer beneath the sands. Their scans, conducted under the auspices of the NRIAG, National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics, unveiled a staggering underground network, over 3,000 chambers arranged in a grid-like pattern, complete with corridors, stairwells, and what appeared to be vaulted ceilings. Published in a brief report and presented at Ghent University, the findings described walls etched with hieroglyphs and paintings, evoking Herodotus's awe. The team noted massive stone slabs, some weighing up to 80 tons, forming barriers that hinted at deliberate concealment. A YouTube video from September 28, 2024, dramatized this as Egyptologists discovered an ancient labyrinth underground that no known records of exist, speculating on its role as a library housing forbidden knowledge. But controversy erupted when Egyptian authorities, citing national security, halted further publication and excavation, leaving the world with tantalizing glimpses of what might be the Hall of Records. This suppression fuels endless theories, blending archaeology with esoterica. Some posit the labyrinth as an initiation maze for priests, where aspirants navigated trials symbolizing the soul's journey through the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. Others link it to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, hermetic texts purportedly inscribed with alchemical formulas for transmuting matter and mastering time tablets said to reside in a hidden Egyptian vault. A Vocal Media article on the lost labyrinth of ancient Egypt explores its potential as a necropolis for Middle Kingdom elites, but whispers suggest it guarded Atlantean relics, smuggled to Egypt after the continent's cataclysmic fall around 9,000 years before the Common Era, as per Plato's accounts. The tablets, if real, could detail anti-gravity devices or free energy systems, explaining the site's advanced hydraulics. A canal-fed moat that not only irrigated the Fayum, but perhaps powered hydrodynamic mechanisms within the chambers. In 2025, renewed interest surged with reports of anomalous discoveries. A Facebook post from January 31st, 2025, detailed 8 interconnected wells and an underground water system at Hawara, complete with cameras capturing what some call a metal tic-tac object, an elongated metallic artifact defying explanation. This ties into a Substack entry from April 4, 2025, where researchers Dr. Carmen Bulter and Klaus Dohner discussed scans revealing a 5-meter deep foundation layer, beneath which lay the true labyrinth, potentially housing a colossal structure overlooked by Petrie. A Reddit thread from July 9, 2025, speculated on satellite scans locating the labyrinth, describing a 3,000-chamber library with a metallic anomaly, sparking debates on extraterrestrial origins. The New York Post and other outlets amplified this, with a YouTube video from 3 days ago claiming the lost labyrinth of Egypt has been found, featuring exclusive footage of groundwater-flooded halls. These revelations echo ancient warnings. Herodotus noted the lower levels' inaccessibility, guarded by crocodiles sacred to Sobek, the Nile god, symbolizing the dangers of delving too deep. Pliny described mechanical doors that swung shut with thunderous echoes, perhaps booby traps or acoustic defenses. If the Hall of Records exists here, as some KC followers assert, it might contain crystal archives, holographic storage devices, encoding multidimensional data, far beyond papyrus scrolls. A 2025 Newsbreak article from April 25 claimed ground-penetrating radar hinted at a 20,000-year-old labyrinth built by a prehistoric civilization, with chambers holding advanced artifacts. Curiosmos's April 13th piece on the lost labyrinth of Egypt located it near Amenemhat's pyramid, suggesting it's still hidden beneath the desert. Conspiracies abound. Why the blackout after 2008? A Historic Mysteries article from March 26, 2022, noted the labyrinth's rediscovery near Hawara, but questioned official silence. Some allege global elites suppress it to hoard antediluvian tech-free energy, longevity elixirs, or star travel maps. Freemasonic ties surface, with the labyrinth's design mirroring initiation mazes, guarding esoteric truths. A 2025 Facebook video from May 27th visualized the chambers. 160 meters long, 60 wide, with rare architectural elements, like circular platforms inscribed with unknown symbols. Another post from November 9, 2024, described a circular stone platform in the largest chamber, covered in inscriptions, unlike standard Egyptian script, hinting at foreign influences. Ancient-Origins.net's January 13, 2020, piece on the Lost Labyrinth of Ancient Egypt, Part 1, delved into legends of 3,000 rooms, filled with hieroglyphs and paintings. A forgotten wonder. Wikipedia confirms its 12th dynasty origins, but theories persist of older roots. An X-post from November 9, 2024, by Jay Anderson claimed the labyrinth housed tombs and records, shrouded in mystery. Scribd's document on the Labyrinth of Egypt expedition noted unclear results due to groundwater, but affirmed its existence. The archaeologist.org's March 28, 2025, article debated the Hall of Records' existence, quoting skeptics like Dr. Brown, who called it fantasy, yet acknowledging scientific intrigue. If unlocked, Hawara could reveal interstellar connections, hieroglyphs depicting star gods or devices mirroring modern quantum computers. Acoustic properties intrigue, chambers tuned to resonate at healing frequencies, perhaps amplifying meditations or activating crystals. Petrie's debatable standards, as per a 2022 archaeology bulletin, highlight early excavations' limitations, but 2025 tech promises breakthroughs. A PDF on Petrie's Hawara work notes pivotal seasons, unearthing foundations but missing depths. As drones and AI push the boundaries of exploration, Hawara's labyrinth beckons a maze where each turn unveils forgotten epochs, challenging our grasp of antiquity's depths. What inscriptions lie sealed in those flooded halls? Mathematical formulas from Atlantis, genealogies of star-born visitors, or keys to immortality locked away by time? I wonder, dear listener, where this story finds you tonight. Are you nestled in a Tokyo apartment, the clock nearing 3 in the morning, or perhaps driving along Australia's coastal roads, the evening settling in at 7? Whatever your corner of the world, and whatever hour it is there, let Hawara's enigma pull you closer. a subterranean siren call to those daring enough to imagine what truths await in its silent chambers. The enigma of how the ancient Egyptians erected the pyramids of Giza unfolds like a meticulously planned epic, where every step from quarry to summit reveals layers of ingenuity that continue to baffle modern minds. Beginning with site selection, the builders chose the Giza plateau, not merely for its commanding view over the Nile Valley, but for its geological stability, a bedrock of nummulitic limestone, capable of bearing immense weight without fracturing. This foresight, evident in surveys from the early 20th century, suggests an intimate knowledge of seismology and hydrology, as the plateau's elevation protected against floods while proximity to the river facilitated transport. But why this exact spot? Astronomical alignments hint at a cosmic blueprint, with the pyramid's bases oriented to true north with an accuracy of less than 4 arc-minutes, a feat unmatched until modern instruments, sparking curiosity about whether star observations or something more arcane guided their hands. Once selected, the quarrying phase commenced, a labor-intensive ballet of extraction that transformed raw earth into architectural titans. Workers at the Tura quarries, across the Nile, chiseled fine white limestone for the outer casing using copper tools hardened by arsenic alloys, a metallurgical secret that allowed blades to bite into stone without dulling quickly. For the core, coarser local limestone from Giza itself was hewn, with blocks averaging 2.5 tons, though some granite behemoths from Aswan weighed up to 80 tons. Recent analyses in 2025, using X-ray fluorescence on quarry marks, reveal that these Aswan granites were floated downriver on barges during the annual inundation, when the Nile swelled to carry colossal loads. But how did they maneuver these giants upstream against currents? Theories abound, including wind-powered sails or teams of oxen on towpaths, yet inscriptions from the Wadi al-Jaf papyri, discovered in 2012 and further studied in 2024, describe boat gangs coordinating with seasonal floods, suggesting a synchronized network of canals that turned the desert into a navigable highway. Transportation to the site adds another veil of wonder, with the now-vanished Khufu branch of the Nile rediscovered through satellite radar in 2022 and confirmed by core samples in 2025 serving as a vital artery. This ancient waterway, stretching 4 miles to the plateau's edge, allowed barges to dock at harbors unearthed near the pyramids in the late 20th century. From there, sledges hauled the stones over lubricated paths, a method illuminated by a 2023 experiment at the University of Amsterdam, where wetting sand reduced friction by half, enabling smaller teams to pull massive loads. Tomb scenes from the Old Kingdom depict this vividly, overseers pouring water ahead of sledges, while chants, perhaps rhythmic work songs, coordinated the pull. Yet, the sheer volume over 2 million blocks for Khufu's pyramid alone raises tantalizing questions. Did they employ counterweights or pulleys, precursors to later Greek innovations, or was there an undiscovered lever system hidden in the sands? Leveling the foundation marked a pivotal moment, where precision engineering met mystical alignment. Using water-filled trenches as natural levels, builders achieved a base deviation of mere centimeters across a 13-acre expanse, a tolerance that modern laser tools struggle to match without computers. Seismic data from 2025 suggests they exploited natural bedrock contours, chiseling down high spots with diorite pounders, stones harder than granite that left telltale marks still visible today. This phase's accuracy enabled the pyramid's enduring stability, but curiosities persist. How did they measure such vast distances without theodolites? Cubit rods and knotted ropes, calibrated to the royal cubit of 52.36 centimeters, offer clues, yet the incorporation of pi and the golden ratio, in proportions discovered through mathematical modeling in the 1980s, hints at advanced geometry, possibly inherited from earlier Mesopotamian influences or, as some speculate, a lost pre-dynastic tradition. As layers rose, the ramp debate ignites the most fervent curiosity, with multiple theories vying for primacy. Traditional external straight ramps, sloping gently at 8 degrees, would have required enormous volumes of material, nearly as much as the pyramid itself, leading skeptics to favor wrapping ramps that spiraled around the structure. French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin's internal ramp theory, proposed in 2003 and refined with 3D simulations in 2025, envisions a helical corridor within the masonry, allowing workers to haul blocks upward without dismantling external scaffolding. Microgravimetry scans in 2006 detected density variations, supporting this, like hollow spaces twisting inward. Yet, for the upper tiers, where space constricted, a counter-ramp system using seesaw levers or wooden cradles might have prevailed, as evidenced by post holes found at the Hatnub quarry in 2018, suggesting dual-direction hauling. Hydraulic innovations, a hot topic in 2024 and 2025, add a watery twist to the tale. For the Step Pyramid of Giza, built around 2600 years before the Common Era, a French team's preprint paper in August 2024 proposed a central hydraulic lift, water from nearby canals flooding shafts to float blocks upward like an ancient elevator. Core samples revealed gypsum dams and underground reservoirs, channeling pressure to raise platforms. While Giza predates Giza, similar systems might have assisted at Khufu's site, with the Khufu branch providing hydraulic force. Experiments at MIT in 2025 replicated this on a small scale, lifting model stones with minimal manpower, but scaling to 80-ton granites remains a puzzle. Did they use airtight seals or piston-like mechanisms lost to time? The workforce itself demystifies yet intrigues, shattering myths of slave labor. Mark Lehner's excavations in the 1990s uncovered a lost city of bakeries, breweries, and barracks, housing 20,000 skilled artisans, fed on a diet of bread, beer, and beef evidenced by cattle bones indicating high-protein sustenance for heavy labor. These were rotational crews, levied as tax from provinces, with medical care revealed by skeletons showing set fractures and amputations. Papyri from Wadi al-Jarf detail logistics, teams of 40 hauling blocks, coordinated by overseers like Merah, whose diary logs 4-day Nile trips delivering limestone. But the motivation? Religious zeal for the pharaoh god, or economic incentives, graffiti in hidden chambers. Friends of Khufu suggest camaraderie, yet the absence of strikes or revolts implies a society unified by divine purpose. Alignment and casing polish the narrative with celestial and technical flair, oriented to cardinal points using stellar observations, perhaps circling the northern sky around Thuban, the pole star of 2600 years before the Common Era. The base's squareness deviates by mere inches over football field lengths. Shadow methods, or Merket instruments, star-sighting tools, achieve this. But the incorporation of solar solstices in shaft alignments adds esoteric depth. The outer Tura limestone, drilled with tube-like precision, as per 2025 ultrasonic tests, replicating ancient methods, reflected sunlight like mirrors, visible from miles away until stripped for medieval Cairo mosques. Inside, granite beams in relieving chambers, slotted with dovetail joints, distributed weight ingeniously, preventing collapse. Finishing touches concealed construction scars, with descending passages plugged by granite blocks after the pharaoh's interment, sealing secrets within. But anomalies persist. The Great Pyramid's subterranean chamber, unfinished and flooded, hints at abandoned plans, perhaps a decoy or symbolic underworld. Robotic explorations in the 1990s and 2000s revealed blocked shafts with copper handles, suggesting mechanisms for afterlife journeys or hidden compartments. Theories diverge wildly. Geopolymer concrete, proposed by Joseph Davidovits in the 1980s and debated in 2025 conferences, claims blocks were cast in place from lime, clay, and aggregates explaining seamless fits and uniform chemistry. Lab tests replicate this, but core samples show natural striations, countering the idea. Acoustic levitation, drawn from Tibetan legends and tested in small-scale labs in 2024, posits sound waves lifting stones, a fringe notion, yet pyramid acoustics amplify voices in chambers, curious for ritual use. Logistics marvel. Over 20 years for Khufu's pyramid, that's one block every 2 minutes during daylight, coordinated without wheels, invented later, using rollers and levers, fuel from acacia wood, tools recycled, sustainable engineering ahead of its time. 2025 brings hydraulic revivals. For Giza, water elevators. For Giza, perhaps Nile-fed ramps with sluices. A July 29, 2025, Greek Reporter article unveiled French research on hydraulic lifts, with dams raising water levels to float blocks. Science Focus from December 15, 2024, discussed ramps greased by wet clay. Archaeology magazine's July divided by August 2022 feature on Wadi El Jarf papyri detailed worker journeys. Popular Mechanics from April 20, 2025, explored hydraulics for Giza. CNN's August 5, 2024, report confirmed water elevators. These threads weave a tapestry of wonder, human triumph or hidden aids. Each discovery peels layers, yet the core mystery endures. How did a Bronze Age society summon such precision? As sands yield more clues, the process beckons us to imagine what forgotten techniques lie buried, waiting to redefine impossibility. Gazing upward on a clear Egyptian night, the constellation of Orion commands the sky with its bold outline, a hunter eternally poised, his belt of 3 bright stars slicing through the darkness like a cosmic arrow. Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka form this iconic trio, shining with an intensity that has drawn human eyes for eons, inspiring myths of gods and gateways. In ancient Egyptian lore, Orion embodied Osiris, the resurrected king, whose dismembered body was reassembled by Isis, symbolizing renewal and the afterlife. But what if this stellar pattern holds a terrestrial mirror, etched into the sands of Giza? The Orion correlation theory proposes just that. The 3 great pyramids, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, were deliberately positioned to mimic these belt stars, not as they appear today, but as they wheeled across the heavens around 10,500 years before the Common Era. This audacious idea, first articulated by Robert Bauval in the late 20th century, doesn't merely realign stones with stars. It upends timelines, suggesting the Giza layout encodes a message from a forgotten epoch, one that whispers of cosmic cycles and cataclysms. Bauval, an engineer with a passion for Egyptology, stumbled upon this correlation while pondering the pyramid's precise orientations. In 1983, he noticed that the slight offset in the smaller Menkaure pyramid echoed the angled alignment of Mintaka relative to the other belt stars. By 1989, he formalized the theory in Discussions in Egyptology, arguing that the pyramid's relative sizes and positions paralleled the stars' brightness and layout. Collaborating with Adrian Gilbert, they expanded this in their 1994 book The Orion Mystery, using astronomical software to rewind the skies. Around 10,500 years before the Common Era, during the precessional age when Leo rose at the vernal equinox, the belt stars would have aligned due south at their lowest meridian crossing, mirroring the pyramids as viewed from the north. This date predates the accepted 4th dynasty construction by over 7,000 years, igniting debates. Were the pyramids built by a lost civilization, or did later Egyptians inherit and replicate an ancient stellar blueprint? Precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis over 26,000 years, lies at the theory's heart, shifting the stars' apparent positions and altering equinox backdrops. In that distant era, Orion's belt would dip to the horizon in a configuration that perfectly overlays Giza's layout, with the Nile evoking the Milky Way, as Bauval later proposed. Egyptian texts like the pyramid texts from the 24th century before the Common Era reinforce this, describing the pharaoh's soul ascending to Orion for rebirth among the imperishable circumpolar stars. But why encode such a remote date? Some speculate it commemorates Zep Tepi, the first time of the gods, a mythical golden age when divine beings ruled Egypt. A 2025 analysis in the Journal of Archaeological Science revisited Bauval's calculations, confirming a statistical correlation but debating intent, coincidence, or cosmic design. This stellar mapping extends beyond mere alignment, delving into the pyramid's shafts' narrow conduits pointing skyward from the king's and queen's chambers. In Khufu's pyramid, the southern shaft from the king's chamber targets Orion's belt at its meridian, around 2,500 years before the Common Era, while the northern one aims at Thuban, the ancient pole star. Bauval and Gilbert suggested these shafts served as soul pathways, guiding the pharaoh to specific stars for resurrection. Yet, rewinding to 10,500 years before the Common Era, the alignments shift. Orion's position then would have been even more pronounced, perhaps marking a cataclysmic event tied to Earth's axial wobble. Precession isn't uniform. Excursions, rapid shifts in the magnetic poles could disrupt climates and civilizations. A 2025 X-post by author Tao Lin recounted a hitchhiker's tale of extraterrestrials, revealing the Great Pyramid's purpose: to alleviate axial excursion, stabilizing Earth's cyclical pole shifts that trigger floods and upheavals. Lin's anecdote, shared on May 21, 2025, weaves alien intervention into the mix, proposing the pyramids as geostabilizers, their mass and placement countering magnetic instabilities documented in geological cores from Greenland, showing excursions every 12,000 years. Such ideas resonate with Graham Hancock's extensions of the theory, linking Giza to a global network of monuments aligned with Orion. In his 1995 book Fingerprints of the Gods, Hancock argued that survivors of a 12,000-year-old catastrophe, perhaps a comet impact or solar outburst, encoded warnings in stone, using Orion as a universal reference. The Hopi of North America view Orion as a portal for spirits, while the Maya aligned temples like Chichen Itza to similar stellar cues. A 2025 simulation by astronomer Tony Dunn visualized Orion's proper motion over 500,000 years, illustrating how the belt's configuration has evolved, potentially explaining why ancient builders fixated on a specific epoch. Dunn's work, updated in 2024, shows the star's slow drift, underscoring the deliberate choice of 10,500 years before the Common Era, a time when sea levels rose dramatically post-Ice Age, submerging coastal civilizations. Conspiracies swirl around this date, tying it to axial excursions, abrupt pole flips that could invert magnetic fields, triggering auroras worldwide and disrupting navigation. Paleomagnetic studies from Lake Mungo in Australia, dated to around 30,000 years ago, reveal such an event, the Lachamp excursion, where polarity reversed briefly, weakening the magnetosphere and exposing Earth to cosmic rays. If Giza commemorates or mitigates a similar occurrence around 10,500 years before the Common Era, as Bauval's theory implies, the pyramids might function as observatories or stabilizers. A 2025 X-post by State of Mind questioned the theory's validity, citing misalignments and date discrepancies, but acknowledged the lack of written records leaves room for speculation. Critics like Ed Krupp argue the correlation is inverted. Pyramids don't match the star's orientation unless flipped, but proponents counter that ancient Egyptians viewed the sky as a reflection, with south as up in their cosmology. Orion's mythological depth enriches the puzzle. In Sumerian texts from the 3rd millennium before the Common Era, Orion is Mulhun, a heavenly shepherd, while Greek myths cast him as a hunter slain by Artemis, his belt a eternal marker. The Dogon of Mali, with their unexplained knowledge of Sirius B, associate Orion with cosmic creation. A 2025 X-post by NYC Mystical Juice shared visuals of the theory, noting its roots in Bauval's 1989 paper and the 1994 BBC documentary, The Great Pyramid. Gateway to the Stars. This connection posits Giza as a stargate, where shafts aligned with Orion facilitated soul travel or energy channeling. Recent 2025 discussions amplify extraterrestrial angles. A post by Classical Aegis on October 23, 2024, highlighted the near-perfect match around 12,000 years ago, suggesting non-human architects. Jass's September 6, 2025, post linked a simulation to Hancock's critiques, proposing megaliths encode multi-dimensional time via Orion. Alex Rivero's February 27, 2018 thread debunked romanticized alignments but conceded the theory's appeal. Robinson Sketches September 6, 2025, noted Orion's T-shape in navigation and Göbekli Tepe carvings. Graham Hancock's August 15, 2021, praised Bauval's breakthrough. Inis Bayal's September 4, 2025, tied Nabta Playa's alignments to cardinal directions. T.J. Cooney's November 19, 2022, animated Orion's arrays. Diatribe's September 4, 2025, Unlocked rabbit holes via Wikipedia. Mr. Common Sense is March 17th, 2024. Noted global pyramid alignments to Orion. Jason Wilde's March 28th, 2025. Wove Orion into religious expressions, suggesting otherworldly influence. Ryan Charmley's September 7th, 2025. Linked to TOI cosmogony and fermionic foundations. Ines Aaron's March 21st, 2025. Shared a paper on pyramids countering core mantle decoupling and Janibekov oscillation. Atchison's September 4th, 2025. Tied Orion to science behind discoveries. These voices converge on a profound query. Does Orion encode a warning of excursions pole shifts that could flip our world? The Gothenburg excursion around 11,500 years ago coincides with megafaunal extinctions and Younger Dryas cooling. If Bauval's date marks this, Giza becomes a monument to survival, its shafts tracking precessional shifts to predict future upheavals. Orion's hunter myth, pursued by Scorpio, stung to death mirrors seasonal cycles, but in cosmic terms, it could symbolize humanity's hunt for stability amid axial chaos. Nabta-Playa's stone circles, dated to 7,000 years before the Common Era, align with Orion's rise, suggesting Africa's ancient astronomers influenced Egypt. As Orion's belt continues its eternal hunt across the night sky, it mirrors our own quest for truth amid the vastness of the cosmos, leaving us to ponder whether Giza is a time capsule warning of the next axial shift, or a relic of starborn architects shaping our destiny. The stars beckon, their light a bridge between earth and ether. And if their mysteries captivate you, dear listener, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell to explore more of these cosmic riddles with us. Wherever you're listening from, let the Hunter's constellation guide your dreams, its silent message a key to unlocking the secrets that Giza still holds in its timeless embrace. Behind the veiled curtains of history, where shadows dance with symbols etched in stone and secrecy, the Freemasons emerge as enigmatic custodians of ancient wisdom, their rituals and emblems intertwined with the mysteries of Giza in ways that tantalize the imagination. Founded in the early 18th century as a fraternal order of stonemasons evolving into a society of enlightened thinkers, Freemasonry has long been accused of harboring esoteric knowledge passed down from the builders of the pyramids themselves. Central to this intrigue is the unfinished pyramid, a motif emblazoned on the Great Seal of the United States since 1782, its 13 levels symbolizing the original colonies, topped by an all-seeing eye that evokes divine providence or, as some whisper, a watchful gaze over hidden truths buried beneath the sands of Egypt. This pyramid, uncapped and radiant, mirrors the Great Pyramid of Khufu in its geometric perfection. But why does Freemasonry embrace such imagery, if not to encode secrets about Giza's true purpose? Freemasons themselves trace their origins to the medieval guilds that constructed Europe's cathedrals, yet their lore delves deeper, claiming descent from the architects of Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem around 950 years before the Common Era, a structure steeped in sacred geometry and alchemical symbolism. By the 19th century, Masonic texts like Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma from 1871 wove in Egyptian motifs, portraying the pyramids as repositories of Hermetic knowledge where initiates learned the arts of immortality and cosmic harmony. Pike, a high-ranking Mason, alluded to the pyramids as monuments of the highest antiquity, guardians of mysteries that Freemasonry preserved through degrees of initiation. But skeptics and theorists alike ponder, if Masons hold the keys to Giza, why the cloak of secrecy? A Quora discussion from August 31st, 2023, explores the triangle and pyramid in Masonic symbolism, noting that while not central, they represent stability and enlightenment, yet conspiracy circles see them as veiled references to Giza's power plants or star maps. This veil thickens with allegations that Freemasons have actively suppressed discoveries at Giza to maintain control over forbidden knowledge. The Hall of Records, a purported underground library near the Sphinx, features prominently in these narratives, said to contain Atlantean scrolls detailing free energy, levitation, and humanity's extraterrestrial heritage. Edgar Cayce's visions placed it under the Sphinx's right paw, but Masonic lore, influenced by Rosicrucian offshoots, suggests guardians like the Freemasons have long known its location, using symbolic pyramids in their rituals to hint at its existence without revelation. A Wikipedia entry on the Hall of Records traces the concept to psychic claims, but notes its absence in archaeological evidence, fueling suspicions of deliberate obfuscation. In 2025, Italian radar scans at Giza uncovered vast subterranean structures, including chamber networks that align with Casey's descriptions, yet Egyptian authorities rumored to include Masonic affiliates quickly classified the findings, citing national security. A YouTube video from March 26, 2025, titled "Lost Secrets of Ancient Egypt: What's Hiding Under the Pyramids?" questions this blackout, suggesting a conspiracy to prevent paradigm-shifting revelations. The all-seeing eye atop the pyramid, a Masonic emblem since the 18th century, symbolizes the grand architect of the universe, but theorists like those in Reed Magazine's February 4, 2019, article on pseudo-archaeology link it to alien oversight, claiming extraterrestrials aided pyramid construction, a secret Mason's guard to control global narratives. This eye, floating above the unfinished pyramid on the US dollar bill since 1935, echoes the capstone missing from Khufu's pyramid, perhaps intentionally absent to signify ongoing enlightenment or a concealed power source. Facebook posts from September 20, 2013, discuss the uncapped pyramid on the Great Seal as a nod to Giza's pagan roots, preserved in Masonic lodges to encode occult geometries. Founding fathers like Benjamin Franklin and George Washington, both Masons, incorporated this symbolism, raising eyebrows. Did they embed pyramid secrets into America's foundation, drawing from Egyptian mysteries to forge a new world order? Freemasonry's Egyptian revival in the 18th and 19th centuries, spurred by Napoleon's 1798 campaign that unearthed the Rosetta Stone, saw lodges adopt obelisks, scarabs, and pyramids as emblems of eternal truth. The Scottish Rite, a Masonic branch, includes degrees inspired by Egyptian rites, where initiates symbolically descend into tombs for rebirth, mirroring Osiris's resurrection, a myth tied to Orion, the constellation aligned with Giza. But this adoption veils a darker role, guarding the Orion Code, a hypothetical stellar encryption in the pyramid's layout that maps cosmic cycles and pole shifts. Bauval's Orion correlation theory, linking the pyramids to Orion's belt around 10,500 years before the Common Era, gains a Masonic twist. Lodges allegedly suppress excavations to prevent disclosure of this code, which could predict global cataclysms or unlock free energy. A BBC Travel article from December 9, 2016, on Scotland's Masonic history, hints at forgotten ties to ancient secrets, with lodges preserving knowledge from Templar knights who fled to Scotland in the 14th century, carrying Egyptian artifacts. Conspiracy hubs like History.com's October 17, 2023, piece on hidden Masonic symbols explore how the pyramid and eye represent surveillance over esoteric truths, perhaps including Giza's Hall of Records. In 2025, a YouTube video from May 30th delves into Freemasonry's rituals and global influence, questioning if they conceal pyramid power plants or alien pacts. The pyramid conspiracy extends to modern cover-ups, with theorists claiming Masons in academia and government thwart digs. Zahi Hawass, often accused of Masonic ties despite denials, has blocked Sphinx probes, where the hall allegedly lies. A Quora post from December 2, 2019, ponders if Masons know the pyramid's builders, suggesting Egyptian origins, but hinting at deeper lore. Pyramidology, as per Wikipedia, involves pseudoscientific speculations on Giza, with Masonic figures like Charles Piazzi Smythe, in the 19th century measuring pyramids for biblical prophecies, uncovering units like the pyramid inch that align with cosmic constants. A PDF on Founding Fathers' secret societies details how Franklin, a Mason, helped design the Great Seal, encoding Illuminati and Rosicrucian influences tied to Giza. Another PDF on Masonic mysteries lists pyramid symbolism as key to understanding global elites' control. BBC News from March 14, 2012, answers Masonic queries, denying conspiracies but acknowledging public fascination. Amma Waterway's article on Giza mysteries ties pyramids to conspiracy theories, including Masonic suppression of energy secrets. In this web of symbols and silence, Freemasons stand as gatekeepers, their pyramid emblem a silent sentinel over Giza's depths. The Hall of Records, if unearthed, could shatter illusions, proof of ancient astronauts or suppressed sciences. But with 2025 scans hinting at vast chambers, why the continued veil? Perhaps the Orion code within Masonic rites alignments, mirroring Giza's stellar map guards against chaos, encoding warnings of cosmic resets. Pike's writings hint at pyramids as altars to the unknown god, a Masonic nod to divine architects from the stars. Rituals like the third degree, simulating death and rebirth, parallel Egyptian mysteries, where initiates raise like Osiris under Orion's watch. Washington's Masonic apron, embroidered with pyramids, suggests early American leaders drew from Giza's power. A 2025 PDF on pyramid mysteries explores Giza's alignments, linking to Masonic geometry. As lodges convene in shadowed halls, adorned with eyes and pyramids, one wonders, what pacts bind them to silence? Is the unfinished pyramid a metaphor for ongoing quests, or a map to buried halls where truths await, guarded by oaths sworn in candlelight? The intrigue deepens with global connections. Egyptian obelisks in Masonic cities like Washington, D.C., echoing Giza's monoliths. Theorists claim these form ley lines, channeling energies suppressed by elites. In 2025, amid radar revelations, Masonic silence speaks volumes, perhaps fearing the hall's exposure would democratize power, from free energy to eternal life. Yet, Freemasons deny conspiracies, portraying themselves as philanthropists. Grand Secretary Nigel Brown's BBC interview emphasizes charity, but symbols persist, teasing hidden layers. If Giza's secrets are Masonic heirlooms, the pyramid on the dollar bill isn't currency, it's a cipher, inviting the initiated to decode Orion's message. As night falls over lodges and plateaus, the unfinished pyramid beckons, a symbol of aspiration or suppression. The hall waits below, its records perhaps detailing Masonic roots in Egyptian sands, where stars align to birth secrets still shrouded today. What revelations lurk in those depths, and who truly holds the key? The enigma endures, a silent challenge to pierce the veil. As we draw the threads of this ancient tapestry together, the high plateau of Giza stands not as a silent graveyard of pharaohs, but as a living enigma, pulsing with questions that echo across millennia and beckon us toward revelations yet to unfold. From the shadowy whispers of a fourth black pyramid, lost to the winds of time or perhaps deliberately erased, to the radical notion that these colossal structures served as power plants harnessing the Earth's hidden energies, each layer we've peeled back reveals a civilization far more sophisticated than the history books dare to admit. The materials themselves, limestone insulators, granite resonators, and traces of enigmatic substances like mercury and mica, speak of a technological prowess that blurs the line between Bronze Age craftsmanship and something almost otherworldly, as if the builders wielded knowledge drawn from the stars or a forgotten epoch. And then there's the Great Sphinx, that eternal guardian with its gaze fixed on the horizon, concealing tunnels and chambers that might lead to the Hall of Records, a vault of cosmic secrets guarded by the sands, and perhaps by human hands intent on keeping them buried. Consider the labyrinth at Hawara, that sprawling underground maze with its 3,000 rooms, flooded and fortified, as if to protect truths too profound for the uninitiated. Herodotus's awe-struck accounts, once dismissed as travelers' tales, now find eerie validation in radar scans that hint at inscribed walls and hidden vaults, possibly echoing the lost wisdom of Atlantis or even earlier civilizations. The construction process itself, a symphony of ramps, hydraulics, and unyielding human will, defies simple explanation. How did 20,000 artisans, fueled by bread and beer, align these behemoths to the cardinal points with laser-like precision, incorporating mathematical constants like pi that wouldn't be formalized for thousands of years? And the Orion connection, that celestial mirror where the pyramids reflect the hunter's belt as it appeared 12 millennia ago, suggests a profound awareness of precession and pole shifts, as if Giza were a monument not just to kings, but to the rhythms of the cosmos itself, warning of excursions that could upend worlds. Yet, woven through all this is the persistent shadow of concealment, where figures like the Freemasons, guardians of symbols such as the unfinished pyramid and the all-seeing eye, may hold the cipher to these riddles. Their rituals, a veiled echo of Egyptian mysteries preserved across centuries. Why else would discoveries be shrouded in silence, permits denied, and findings classified under the guise of national security? The Italian team's 2025 radar revelations beneath the plateau, uncovering voids and structures that sprawl like an underground city, only amplify this intrigue. As reported in Euronews on March 26, 2025, experts clashed over whether these anomalies represent natural formations or deliberate constructions, with some hailing them as entrances to a hidden realm that could rewrite human history. Popular Mechanics in July of that year described an anomaly near the pyramids as a potential ancient portal, its L-shaped chamber and connecting passages, defying easy explanation, while Sustainability Times on July 12 announced a secret corridor inside the Great Pyramid, shaking foundations of what we thought we knew. These fresh unveilings build on the momentum, like the March skeletons from Nubia, dating back 3,000 years before the Common Era, unearthed south of Egypt, and hinting at cultural exchanges that predate the pyramid's official timeline, as detailed in Marca's March 20th report. Or the massive underground city described in Medium's August 9th article, where improved June scans expanded the mapped anomalies to include symmetrical rooms that scream of human or perhaps non-human design. Answers in Genesis on July 23, 2025, delved into the controversy, noting structures nearly 2,000 feet deep that challenge biblical timelines but ignite wonder about lost civilizations. Even Baku. WS in April 29 spoke of traces of an unknown civilization beneath the pyramids, with artifacts that don't align with dynastic Egypt, suggesting predecessors who wielded advanced knowledge. What ties these threads is the unrelenting sense of something concealed, a deliberate veil drawn over Giza's depths by those who fear or covet its power. The Freemasons' role, with their pyramid symbolism adorning everything from currency to lodge halls, might be more than metaphorical. Perhaps they are the modern inheritors of the Pyramid Builders Guild, safeguarding the Orion Code that encodes warnings of axial excursions and cosmic resets. Tao Lin's 2025 anecdote of extraterrestrial revelations about the pyramids stabilizing Earth's wobble adds a layer of cosmic conspiracy, implying that Giza's layout isn't random, but a countermeasure to pole shifts that have ravaged civilizations before. If the Hall of Records exists, as Casey envisioned, filled with crystal archives of Atlantean tech, its suppression could stem from a desire to monopolize free energy or genetic secrets, kept from humanity by elites echoing Masonic oaths. Imagine the implications if these veils were lifted. The Black Pyramid, reborn from the sands, revealing its dark granite as a resonator for underworld energies. The Sphinx's tunnels yielding holographic maps of star systems. Hawara's flooded chambers, spilling forth tablets that detail wireless power, akin to Tesla's dreams. The construction hydraulics, once thought primitive, exposed as sophisticated systems, harnessing Nile floods for levitation-like lifts. Orion's alignment decoded as a calendar predicting the next excursion, perhaps imminent in our warming world. And the Freemasons? Their symbols might transform from arcane emblems to practical blueprints, guiding us to harness pyramid power for sustainable energy, averting the cataclysms their lore warns against. But herein lies the tantalizing frustration: these secrets remain just out of reach, teased by 2025's discoveries yet locked behind bureaucratic doors and ancient oaths. The anomaly near the pyramids, as Popular Mechanics suggested, could be a portal to understanding our ancestors' mastery over forces we still grapple with, like geomagnetic reversals that disrupt electronics and climates. The underground city, debated in Euronews, might house evidence of a pre-dynastic society that communed with the stars, their knowledge fragmented and hidden by successors fearing its misuse. Nubian skeletons whisper of migrations and mergers, blending African innovations with Egyptian grandeur, while the Great Pyramid's corridor, per Sustainability Times, invites speculation on what lies at its end, another chamber, or a gateway to the Duat. As we reflect, Giza emerges not as a relic of the past, but a bridge to futures unimagined, its enigmas challenging us to question official narratives and peer into the abyss of the unknown. The Black Pyramid's absence might symbolize lost rebirth, the power plant theory, a call to reclaim free energy, the Sphinx, a sentinel over timelines rewritten. Hawara's labyrinth, with its 3,000 rooms, could be the key to unlocking Atlantis's legacy, while the construction marvels remind us of human potential, unbound by modern limits. Orion's belt, eternally hunting across the sky, mirrors our quest for truth amid cosmic vastness, and the Masonic veil hints at guardians who know more than they share. In this dance of disclosure and denial, 2025 stands as a pivotal year, with radar unveiling what shovels couldn't, structures that defy explanation, anomalies that pulse with potential. Baku. WS's traces of an unknown civilization evoke shivers. Were they our forebears, or visitors from afar, leaving blueprints in stone? Medium's massive city beneath the sands conjures visions of bustling halls filled with forbidden lore, while Answers in Genesis grapples with timelines that stretch faith and science alike. Yet, for all these glimpses, the core mystery endures. Why build such wonders, only to shroud them? Perhaps the answer lies in our readiness as a species. Are we prepared for the truths Giza holds? As night falls over the sands of Giza, the pyramids and their Sphinx sentinel stand as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to yield its final secrets, inviting us to dream of a day when the full truth of their purpose, be it cosmic beacon, energy dynamo, or archive of lost worlds, comes to light. These enigmas, woven from stone and starlight, challenge us to keep seeking, to keep questioning, as their mysteries ripple through time, stirring our imaginations with possibilities that transcend the ages. If these tales have ignited a spark of wonder in you, dear listener, consider subscribing and ringing the bell to join us for more voyages into the unknown, where history and mystery intertwine. For now, let the whispers of Giza cradle you into slumber, carrying you to realms where ancient truths await. Sleep well, and may your dreams be as boundless as the stars above the plateau. Good night.